17th meeting of the Westborough Planning Board. As is customary, I have to read the governor's announcement on virtual meetings before we begin. The Westborough Planning Board will hold a virtual meeting on Tuesday, November 17, 2020 at 6:30 p.m. pursuant to Governor Baker's March 12, 2020 order suspending certain provisions of the Open Meeting Law, General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 18, and the Governor's March 15, 2020 order imposing strict limitation on the number of people that may gather in one place. This meeting of the Westborough Planning Board will be conducted via remote participation to the greatest extent possible. Specific information and the general guidelines for remote participation by members of the public and/or parties with a right and/or requirement to attend this meeting can be found on the Town of Westborough's website at town.westborough.ma.us. For this meeting, members of the public who wish to watch the meeting may do so in the following manner. Members of the public wishing to participate from their remote location are encouraged to email their questions to planning@town.westborough.ma.us. No in-person attendance of members of the public will be permitted, but every effort will be made to ensure that the public can adequately access the proceedings in real time via technological means. The meeting can be viewed on Verizon Channel 24 and Charter Channel 191 or live streamed online at westboroughtv.org. In the event that we are unable to do so despite best efforts, we will post on the Town of Westborough's website an audio or video recording, transcript, or other comprehensive record of proceedings as soon as possible after the meeting. So we have 2 items on the agenda, so this should be relatively short. The first item on the agenda is a review and consideration of the preliminary residential subdivision plan for Rugged Trails, 228 Ruggles Street. And we have a letter from the applicant requesting an extension through the end of December. It's on the screen. You've all been provided that letter. Jim, do I need to read this into the record, or we just accept it as, I can just go ahead and read it. Dear Planning Board members, we would like to request an extension to allow the Planning Board to extend the preliminary meeting hearing period through the end of December 30th, 2020, to allow time to review and enter a decision regarding Rugged Trails preliminary subdivision. And that's signed Karen Keegan, who is the engineer and coordinator for the builder. Any questions on that from the board? Okay. Hearing none.
Mark, let me just ask one question.
Sure.
How many times can we keep extending this?
As many as we want.
All right. I mean, is there a point where you just...
Well, the Benincasa project on Nash Street, I think we extended that 2 years.
Okay. All right.
I guess at some point, as long as they're exercising, some effort to get it done, which I believe they are. Maybe Jim can comment on that. Jim Robbins.
Sure. And Hazel, you can extend the review as many times or for as long a time period as you wish, as long as either the applicant requests it or the planning board requests additional information from the applicant. In this case, we all know we're working on the design of the lots to make sure that they conform to zoning for buildability. So the applicant has worked with a couple of the town departments, including most recently the building department, to determine whether the third lot could accommodate a building given the setbacks that are necessary to side, rear, and front yard. And Karen Keegan is actually with us this evening. She has met with the building commissioner, and the building commissioner is satisfied with the third lot. I don't know if Karen wishes to elaborate on that a little bit.
A colleague of mine, Tracy Sharkey, has met with met with Fred and has gone over the configuration for the lot width of lot 1, and using his formula has come up with the adequate lot width for that lot. So that makes that a buildable lot as far as its lot width and configuration. I also had a conversation with Steve from the Board of Health, and Steve's comments were just general comments that he wanted to address with me. We went over them. They're all comments that can be addressed usually at the time of filing for those 2 septic systems that I'll be filing for. And those were his comments as far as the septic systems on the 2 lots that are there.
So I just want to remind you that you're going to have to repeat all this for the board when we do have the preliminary subdivision hearing. So
Yep.
just, I don't want, I don't want to spend too much time on this since you've requested an extension.
Yep.
I think we're going to have to go through it all over again when we actually have the hearing. So, does
Fine.
anybody have questions for Karen though?
One request, Mark, through you. Karen, if you could please provide updated plans that you showed to the building commissioner, because I've seen them, but I don't have a copy of them. And if you could send them to myself and to Kristen for the record, that would be great.
No problem.
Could also get even a memo, 1 or 2 sentences from the commissioner simply stating that he now believes that Lot 1 conforms to the requirements of zoning, and any information that you've received from the Board of Health regarding their review of those lots.
Okay.
Did you get all that, Karen?
Yep.
All right. So I will make a motion to continue the preliminary subdivision hearing for Rugged Trails through December 30th.
Second that, Mark.
I'm sorry, December 30th, 2020. Just in case Hazel's worried about it.
Still second.
All right. Any discussion of the motion? Jim, are you fine with the wording on that?
Yes.
Any discussion then? Okay. Hearing none, all those in favor of the motion, I'll do a roll call. Jim Ball,
Yes, Mark.
Hazel Norris,
Yes.
Tim Paris,
Yes.
Tim Taylor,
Yes.
and I'll vote yes as well. That's 5-0. Okay. All right. Thank you for coming in, Karen. I appreciate your time. And we'll see you hopefully in December.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you, Karen.
The only other agenda item we have is a master plan update. So I'll turn that over to Jim Robbins, and then maybe we can do minutes at the end.
Yes, thank you. As you know, the Master Plan Advisory Committee and their consultant VHB had requested that each of the subcommittees have their baseline chapter reviewed and incorporate comments, as well as the baseline template with comments or revisions resubmitted to the consultants by the 18th, which is tomorrow. If you need a day or two, I'm sure that will not mess up their schedule. However, with the Thanksgiving holiday the following week, I would urge you strongly to try and get it done this week, because I know next week will be a difficult week for things to get accomplished. Also, the date to keep in mind for our next advisory committee, the full advisory committee, will be Monday, November 30th. Again, that's Monday, November 30th at 6 p.m. To start a little bit early so that we're not keeping people too late, because we know we have conflicts with other meetings sometimes. So again, that's Monday, November 30th at 6 p.m. A notice for the remote meeting will be sent out. An update since our last meeting. I think I mentioned at our last meeting that our sub-consultant, Landwise, held a business roundtable, a local business roundtable. We had 20 local businesses participating. They have compiled the results. They will be sharing that with the advisory committee on the 30th. The intent was to have local businesses let the town know what it is they like about Westborough, what it is they'd improve about Westborough, and specifically what they would recommend for our downtown in the future.
Any questions for Jim on the master plan? Jim Ball, do you want to do the minutes?
I don't think we have any minutes, Mark, do we?
No minutes from last week yet?
No, I don't
Okay.
have last week's
I'm
yet.
not trying to rush you, Kristen, sorry.
Yep. But Jim, at some point, I had talked to Mark, and I believe you might have some minutes from the town meeting. So I'll have to get those from you.
Yes,
Yeah, Jim Robbins has those.
I have those meeting minutes. I've just got to give them to Kristen.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
And Kristen, I know on those, either I can sign those through DocuSign. Megan can certainly get them to me that way if that's acceptable, or Mark has also said he can certainly sign as a backup, whichever you prefer, once we have them and review them.
All right. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, any other business, any other questions, anything from the board? Okay, I will make a motion to adjourn.
Second that.
Okay, any discussion? All those in favor will do a roll call. Tim Paris,
Yes.
Tim Kaler,
Yes.
Jim Ball,
Yes.
Hazel,
Yes.
and I vote yes as well. It's 5-0 to adjourn. Thank you all. Have a nice night, and we'll see you, well, I guess we'll see you at the 30th. And then Jim Robbins will be out for an extended period. So we won't see him. I think that little bag on his desk is his new knee.
I will be at our next meeting on December 1st.
Is it the first or the second? Yeah.
The first.
Yeah, it's the first.
The first, yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Great. Take care, everyone.
All right. Good night,
We'll see
everyone.
ya.
Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.